the villains in your life that are holding you back. I got my storyboard all pulled up here. You guys, we're gonna rock this together. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this efficient, probably around 10 minutes. It's hard to doodle and get these any shorter. Maybe I'll work on that efficiency. But for now, I'm not gonna put my little bubble on the screen because that seems to get in the way sometimes when I'm working through this. Okay, let's get it rocking. These are your villains, and this is what I have come up with. These are burning down the results that you may be able to obtain. Okay, number one, your first villain is the mindset. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down what these may or may not be in your life. So, mindset is limiting. This is the biggest issue I see. Limiting mindset. So, what does this mean? Is that you have a very small vision. Compared to someone, just consider someone that's what they can see. Oh, I gotta move this. And then someone here, and that's what they see. Who will get better results? It's pretty simple. So let's say, for example, person A comes in to a program and open-minded. Open. And person B, closed. So that means that meal plan, let's just say, for example, open mind, they get a meal plan and they will try everything. Let's just put a circle on that. And then we have closed mindset, meal plan, they get a meal plan, this person, and they will try, let's say, 1/3 of what they see on the meal plan. Let's say they'll try a half of what's on the meal plan. So if you want to see different results, you have to take different action, which is what this would offer. And this person over here with a closed mindset, I'm trying to think of something that could be closed. Like a door. This is a locked mindset. That's a lock, by the way. So that's a closed mindset. And that makes it very difficult to see results. So that's why I say we have a limiting mindset. And you can see, like, and I don't mean to call anyone out here, but just for example, when I put that SCOBY picture up, this is not picking on anyone in particular, because often when I talk about fermented foods or SCOBY, I mean SCOBYs in particular, but even fermented foods to help with digestion, a lot of people resonate with this dragon. This dragon says, nope, not going to do it. Okay, and then I'll give you one more option here, and then we got to move on. The next one would be not just limiting mindset, but lack. A mindset of lack. And this is what we teach. We have to show you that there's a lack mindset that we see very often. And that means there's not enough. Oh. Not enough. So there's many different options I can go over there. That there's not enough. Like, for example, limiting mindset is or the lack of a mindset is there's not enough. Like, there's not enough time in the day. I don't have enough time. That's a limiting mindset. That's also a limiting belief set. And that's also a self-identity. So there's not enough. This mindset will be this dragon in many different places. Okay? So that's just one. Let's go over to knowledge. And we also have beautifully created. Can I move that? No, I don't want to do that. Get out of there. How awesome is that? Okay. So that's going to be... I have to have fun with this, by the way. If this was boring, neither of us would enjoy being here. Okay. So this is knowledge in particular. So a lot of times we just don't know, right? We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So you may not know how to meal prep. And there is actually a skill to meal prep, which we'll get into. So you may not know how to create healthy meals. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, this knowledge can be learned. You may not know how to buy groceries. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. And don't laugh. There's lots of people that don't know how to buy groceries. And if that's you, there's nothing wrong with that. All that means is you don't have this particular knowledge for all of these things. And if you did, you wouldn't be here. You might be teaching this. So this is just knowledge of teaching. And that's just nutrition, right? We can look at fitness. Like honestly, like quite literally, most people don't know how to, they certainly don't know how to create a fitness plan. That's why the gym, without help, is pretty well useless. So working out, what about working out? A lot of people just don't know how to work out. They don't know what exercise is. They don't know what form. That's why I think like this is incredibly complex. And that's why it kind of bothers me when people are like, oh, internally I've got to work through this. People are just like, oh, I'll just grab a gym membership. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. Or they think that they're a failure because they can't get it to work when it has nothing to do with the individual. It's the industry that made you believe that your gym membership is going to get you the results you want. Okay, and then let's go over to skills. So what happens here, right? Like skills actually bridges the gap between knowledge and results. Because we've all been here. Like, a lot of people know stuff, right? A lot of people know how to create the meals, right? So let's say, for example, you have the knowledge, right? We're good. We have most of the knowledge that we need to check all the boxes. But do we have the skills to make that happen? Which is why we have to bridge the gap to get the results. So you need the skills. And what are the skills? You need the skills to work out. After you know how to do them, once you're taught how to do them over here in this fitness area from the knowledge section, you're taught, and then you figure out the skills, how to work out, how to meal prep. So now we work on this and we practice, and it takes time and it takes effort and it takes accountability to help you with these in particular. But if you're not sure, like, we have our self-limiting beliefs over here that we have to work through, and we also have to work through self-identity. It's pretty scribbly. So we also have to work through self-identity to obtain the skills that we need. So this is certainly not something that happens overnight. Okay. And then I have, do we have this one here for you guys? You're mine. And then one of the things that we don't think of is environment. This one is so important. This one's vital. The environment that you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people that lack, oops, okay, they lack skills, they lack knowledge, and then they lack the proper mindset that you need to succeed in life. What are you? Like, what are we doing? We're stuck with these guys here. So it's important to avoid these ones that suck the life out of us. These are energy drainers. Is that a word, drainers? They do the opposite of increase energy. They decrease. Okay, they decrease energy and then they laugh at you. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Okay. So here's the thing. Why didn't that pop up there? Okay. So here's the thing. I'll give you an example of myself. Is I grew up with guys that like to drink. They like to party. They didn't get up early. They weren't all that ambitious, so they liked to sleep. And we hung out in less than productive areas. Let's just say the bars. So I knew that if I wanted to run a business and have a successful partnership with now my wife, I knew that this wasn't an option. This wasn't an option. This wasn't an option, and neither was this. So what does that mean? That I had to reinvent myself. Which means I had to change my identity, and I most certainly had to change my environment. Okay? So that means I had to say goodbye to some good friends that were holding me back in life. And that would be one of the most challenging things that you could possibly do. And that's why when it comes to sustainability and it comes to actually changing your position in life, so many people self-sabotage and go back to where they started. Because I can tell you, so many times we've seen people see great results and they're changing their life and they're starting to change their identity and they freak out and they go back because they've never actually pictured what does your life look like? Who are you hanging around with? What are the words that you're speaking? What are the thoughts that you're thinking? What actions are you taking on a daily basis? Which is completely different. Those are two very different people. One person that is lethargic, scrolls through Netflix for hours, hangs out at the bars, or a regular wing night person. And I have zero judgment for any of this. I don't have any emotional connection to where you're at. I would like to help you get to the person that you want to be. This person has more confidence. They have all the results you're looking for. They have a fast metabolism. They're burning body fat. They're feeling good. They're looking good. They wear, like, consider the person of the clothing that you're wearing or the size from this to that. Like, it's like night and day. And that takes a different environment. It takes a different mindset. It takes a different overall being. And if that's not something planned, when it happens, you're so shocked. You're like, oh my gosh. And you revert back, which is why this is so important. We look at the future and what everything looks like as we take steps to becoming that person, instead of just, let's see how quickly we can get you to lose 40 pounds and you gain it all back. because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to keep it. You don't know how you got you there. It's certainly not healthy. Doesn't make you feel great. And then you have that same environment of people sucking your energy back to where you came from because they are resentful that you changed places in life and are evolving and they're not. I want to end this for time constraint purposes, but I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this, because I've got more. I've got more graphics, I've got more videos, and I've got more slightly more entertaining than the boring old. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.